The other day, I was searching in Google the most likable celebrities. Don't ask why, I was fiercely procrastinating. Anyway, I saw a random list on IMDb that listed Morgan Freeman as the most likable celebrity. And it got me thinking, what makes Morgan Freeman so likable? So in this video, I'm gonna break down his cues, exactly what he does to be more likable and how you can learn them too. Cues are the social signals we send to each other. Many of them are invisible, but they don't have to be. Together we will learn how to decode the cues hidden in body language, words, faces, and even voice tone. Let's captivate with your cues. Number 1, comfort cues. Our emotions are contagious. We like to be around comfortable, confident people because we want to catch their comfort and their confidence. Morgan Freeman oozes comfort. He saunters into a room, he's relaxed, he's calm, cool, and collected. I want to watch a clip and I want you to see how he enters a room. It should make you feel like, yeah, he's got this, I got this, we got this, which is really contagious. Here we go.
Can I come sit here?
Okay, so first, he doesn't rush, he doesn't run. I don't know about you, but if I was about to walk onto Jimmy Kimmel's set, I would be so nervous I would be running. I'd be like, hi, hey, I'm here. Like, I would want to take my seat as quickly as possible. But he's not nervous. He walks out slow. He does a couple things. First, he acknowledges Jimmy, right? He gives him a nice, slow, solid, long handshake, which is really charismatic. Then he greets the audience twice. He not only gives them eye contact, you actually can see he pans his body towards them. He waves once, he waves twice, right? Because he's saying, I see you, welcome, I gotcha. And then he sits down on that chair like it's his own living room, right? He just does that kind of slow fallback. Only a really comfortable, confident, likable person is going to sit down like that. And not only does he do it once, he does it twice. He does it 3 times. So he has a little running joke with Jimmy that he likes to test out the chairs. You only do that if you're comfortable. You only do that if you're happy to have a long, easy chat. And we like people who are comfortable. So here's what I want us to take away from this, is the more comfort cues we can send out, the better. So the more that we can own our space, walk into a room with slow, purposeful presence, then immediately acknowledge people we're with, either with touch, a handshake, or a wave, or a high five, and then when we take our seats, we take a deep breath and we relax into it. We're a little bit playful, which we're going to talk about in a second. This also works on video, right? When we hop on video, we say, hey, good morning, how are ya? So even on video, we can acknowledge people. I try to always acknowledge people in my videos. I want you to think, how can I show comfort cues to people I'm with? How can I acknowledge them? How can I make sure that I'm not making anyone feel rushed? We like people who show comfort, and we like people who feel like they're here to stay a while. Remember, when you show comfort cues, it shows people you're comfortable with them. Number 2, be honest and humble. I actually ended this clip a little bit early, and I want to show you the very end of what happened. So Morgan Freeman's joking around. He's sitting in these different chairs. And then I want you to watch what happens with his coat. Okay, watch this really quickly.
Every time you do that, and it gets funnier each time.
I'm glad.
How you doing? You look great. I love this jacket you have. It's purple.
I'm under duress here, this jacket.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're under duress.
So this is amazing, right? I think that we have the mistaken idea that to be likable, we have to be impressive. To be likable, we have to do everything perfectly. But here is Morgan Freeman. He takes his time, he walks in, he acknowledges the audience. By the way, we're already 40 seconds into the interview and he hasn't really even said anything yet, right? That's all been his entrance and you already like him. You already want to hang out and talk to him. And then he sits down in the chair and he can't get his jacket undone, right? He cannot get that beautiful purple velvet jacket undone. And so he goes, like you can literally see he's like, well, whatever. And then he says, well, I'm under duress. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm on a TV interview, the very first thing I'm trying to do is impress, impress, impress. That's actually the wrong way to approach it. He makes himself comfortable. So first he tries to unbutton his jacket to literally show comfort, which we like. Remember, we learned in the last tip. And then he's honest and transparent. He's a little vulnerable. He goes, oh, well, I'm under duress. There's a fascinating study done by Richard Wiseman, and he wanted to test this idea of being perfect. That do we like perfect people, or do we like people who admit vulnerability? What he did is he hired an actress to make smoothies in a mall. She was supposed to be selling a blender. And in one version of the sales pitch, she puts in the strawberries and the banana and the honeydew. I imagine her doing it like this. She puts on the lid of the blender, she presses the on button, and it whirs the perfect smoothie. Perfect sales pitch. In the second one, he scripted her to make a mistake and spill the smoothie all over the desk, to spill the smoothie all over the table. So this one, she puts in the bananas. And I really just wanted an excuse to do this. She puts all the bananas and the kiwis in, puts the top on, hits the blender. The blender works perfectly. And then she spills the smoothie as she's pouring it. You and I would think that, of course, we would like the perfect one better, right? The one who didn't spill anything. But no. What Richard Wiseman found is that people liked her more when she spilled. I think this is incredibly important for us, and hopefully this is permission for you. You don't have to be perfect to be likable. You have to be real, you have to be vulnerable, you have to be honest. So here's my push to you. Don't hide it when you're struggling. Don't hide it if you have a difficulty. Sometimes when I'm out and about or I'm a little bit nervous, I might say, oh, my introversion is coming out. I'm feeling a little bit nervous. In these YouTube videos, I leave in my flubs and my wubs and my words that I mistakenly pronounce because I mistakenly pronounce words sometimes and I flub and I wub and I don't even think wub is a word. But I leave it in because I know that that's real and that's honest and hopefully it makes me a little bit more likable. Still don't believe me? Okay, I have further proof that the more Morgan Freeman is honest and humble and makes mistakes and admits vulnerability, the more we like him. Case in point, when Morgan Freeman fell asleep during an interview. So I don't know if you were on the internet when this happened, but it almost broke the internet. Morgan Freeman was in an interview with his co-star, and he flat out fell asleep on camera in the interview. Quick clip. So here he is. He's full on sleeping. Full sleep. Full on sleeping. Still going, still just napping while Michael Caine talks. Oh, okay. So he falls asleep in this interview, and what happens? It's blasted all over the internet, and then we all like him more. You know why? We've all been there. We've all fallen asleep in class. We've all fallen asleep in videos. We've all had tired, long, hard days. And so he came out, he said, yeah, I was really tired. And we had done the same question, the same interviews all day. I had heard the answer a million times before and yep, I fell asleep. That admission of vulnerability made us like him more because it was real. And now Freeman actually teases himself for it. So in subsequent interviews, he's now teases his colleagues to speak a little faster because he might fall asleep. Here's Morgan Freeman being so honest and just teasing himself and Michael Caine a little bit.
What is Morgan Freeman like in real life? Well, he's a bit of a pain in the butt, if you ask me.
We can vouch for that.
Yeah, we'll back him up on that one.
I don't lie.
Look at that. The very first question in this interview when he gets asked how he is, he's humble. He says, I'm a little bit of a pain in the butt. He doesn't even try to hide it. He doesn't try to be perfect or impressive or say he's easygoing or spontaneous. No, likable people admit their vulnerabilities and their weaknesses, and we like them more for it. Number 3, the thumb pinch. The thumb pinch is one of my favorite cues. I talk about it a lot in my book, Cues, which is this little pinch here. So it's when you put your thumb on top of your fist. So there's just a light fist with a thumb on top. In Western cultures, this is a thumbs up of okay or everything's all good. So it's a subtle thumbs up gesture. It's also very powerful when we see someone's full hand and fist. This is a favorite of President Barack Obama. He used it 93 times during his inauguration. So you'll see that he is constantly thumb pinching. So it's a favorite of power players. And it's also extremely likable. So I wanted to show you a couple of moments when Morgan Freeman was giving a toast to his buddy Denzel Washington, and he was actually making fun of himself. And I want you to see this gesture that he uses during his toast. And by the way, this toast absolutely killed. It's just one cue that showed his likability. I think it's a really easy one for us to adopt. So let's see how he uses it in action.
What I actually said to Denzel was, "You're that brilliant young actor just out of Fordham University." That was a great suggestion.
So the thumb pinch is a really easy one that you can add. It's a good emphasis gesture. It's actually a nice, they call it a batonic gesture, where he does it along with his words so that you kind of follow along with his words. And this is a really interesting way to be more engaging. I would love for you to be, in general, more purposeful with your gestures. Highly likable people use their hands. You'll notice I probably use my hands a little bit too much in these videos, and that's because our hands help comprehension. When we can see someone's hands, we feel like that we can trust them. We feel that we can see their intention, right? Our hands are our most important, deadliest weapon if we're carrying a rock or a weapon. They also can reach out and punch someone, but they're also our intention or acknowledgement gestures. When we reach out and handshake someone or high five, they're also how we acknowledge people. So we like to see people's hands, and we like to see them gesture purposefully. Number 4, mirror and match. Highly likable people are super attuned to others. They're aware of others' needs before their own. They're constantly reading other people's verbal, nonverbal, vocal, emotional cues and social signals. And I want you to see what happens in this clip from Morgan Freeman's documentary, where he spots a difference in nonverbal needs and he matches. So he mirrors the need and he matches the need, and I want you to see it in action.
Tibetan monk Losang Tenpa has promised to help me find out.
So,
That's the way
I'm glad you could come.
Oh, me too.
You see what happened there? So he approached with a handshake, whereas the monk did a prayer gesture, and instead of trying to force the handshake, he immediately mirrored and matched and copied, maintained in a smile the entire time, and was also super attuned to him. I don't know if you noticed, but Morgan Freeman kept his body angled at his partner, even while the partner turned away and began to speak. Morgan Freeman was literally saying, I am attuned to you. I'm putting your needs first. A way that I want you to think about this is, how can you mirror and match the people around you, the emotional nonverbal needs around you? If they like a lot of touch, can you dial up touch? If they're more introverted and like to hang back, if they like to have more space, can you mirror and match that? Really likable people are always attuned to what other people are doing. In this video, I've been talking a lot about the nonverbal signals for likability, but I actually got so excited about this that I created a longer, free training on the verbal strategies of likability, my 5 favorite most likable phrases, as well as how to mirror and match verbally. That is completely free. It is a 60-minute likability training. I just couldn't share it all in this little one video, so be sure to go sign up at scienceofpeople.com/like. As in, I like you. That is a free 60-minute training where I dive a little deeper into the verbal strategies of likability in addition to the nonverbal ones. Number 5, be playful. We love being around people who don't take themselves too seriously, who are playful, who are silly, who want to interact with us in all different kinds of ways. And Morgan Freeman does this in almost every interaction that he has. I want to show you just a couple of different examples of how he's playful.
How does Morgan Freeman get his freckles? I have this special pen that I use every morning to dock them on.
Yeah, it's a freckle.
I just want to call this one out for a second. So someone asked how Morgan Freeman got his freckles, and if you know anything about freckles, you're born with them. You don't do anything to get them. And instead of shutting someone down, right, instead of saying, duh, they're freckles, which wouldn't have been playful and also might have made someone feel silly for Googling that, he goes on with it. First, he gives it a laugh and he says, well, you know, I get a pen and I dab them on every morning. He didn't shut anyone down. He just played with it. This is critical for you and your likability. If you don't agree with someone or you want to give someone opposite information, you don't have to do that in a negative way. You can do it in a playful way. You can do it in a way that doesn't make them feel bad or ashamed. And that's what he did. He was sort of silly and playful. Someone could kind of give it a laugh and say, oh, of course, right, they're natural. Here's another quick one I have to show you, him being playful.
And we decided to stay in one night and do something we'd never done, which was watch television. There was a commercial for Maxwell House came on, And there was this from Brazil, like the coffee beans, and there was this beautiful girl telling you she got a lot of coffee in Brazil and all that. She was extraordinary, and I fell in love. Wait a minute.
Come back.
I said to my friend, we'll go to Brazil in the morning.
Here you can see he's kind of making fun of himself, right? Like he fell asleep in an interview before that, and here Michael Caine is going on a long story, and Morgan Freeman kind of gives the audience a knowing look, and then he gives Alan Arkin a kind of funny look. This is super likable because it makes us feel like we're inside on the joke. It makes us feel like we're all as one. He doesn't tease Michael Caine too bad, but he makes us all feel like we're included. He's playful. And then he actually does tease Michael Caine, which is so funny.
All right, now wait a minute. I'm not going to do this unless you give short answers.
Okay, I'll give a short answer.
All right.
When did Michael Caine start acting?
Again, just being playful and teasing, and also making sure that he doesn't fall asleep again. I also want to show you this quick clip of how Morgan Freeman uses something physical to be playful. So Stephen Colbert gives him a compliment of an award he received. Instead of just saying, oh, thank you, he's playful. He stands up and takes a bow. Let's take a look.
Fantastic. This is a goal for any artist. You just received the highest award that the United States give to any artist. It's the National Medal of Arts. There you go. That's nice.
So this is like super casual. He's kind of funny about it. He doesn't just roll it off, and the audience gets to clap, and we're even more on his side. Extremely likable people are playful. They don't take themselves too seriously. Number 6, the nod. Nodding is a great nonverbal cue because it shows agreement, engagement, encouragement. We nod when we listen to show people, keep going, I like what you're saying. So if you're saying something interesting, I'm like, We also even nod when we're speaking to show that we want agreement. So I might say, this is really important to me. I really want you to listen. So I'm nodding along with myself to encourage acknowledgement. Nodding is a great cue to be more likable because it shows openness. It shows positivity. I want to show you a really interesting clip here where Jimmy Kimmel is asking Morgan Freeman a question, and he kind of botches the question. Kimmel loses his place. I don't know what he was asking, but Morgan Freeman is so encouraging. He keeps nodding and keeps nodding to say, it's okay, keep going, I got you, I'm listening, I support you. I want you to see how he uses the nod to help Jimmy Kimmel through.
And on that show, you were the easy reader, and the way you spoke was it just sounded great, and I assume that you got that from. I mean, like the way I speak is like that of a clown. So this is what I got from my family. Whereas I assume you must have a I don't know.
I went to school.
So here he is, Jimmy Kimmel is clearly struggling, and he just nods, I got you, keep going. He doesn't rush him. Highly likable people are non-verbally and emotionally encouraging. They don't rush people, they let them take their own time, they're patient with them, and that is shown or showcased non-verbally with the nod. So when you're with people, try nodding more as they listen to show you're encouraging them, try to be more patient, try to be more accepting. That will in turn make you more likable. Number 7, sexy vocal power. I just tried to do that for you in a really great vocal power. Morgan Freeman has an amazing vocal power. It's probably the first tip you thought of when you thought of Morgan Freeman being likable. I want to talk about Morgan Freeman's vocal power, and I found a clip that shows how he encourages others to adopt a great vocal power. Let's watch that clip.
There was a poll in the United Kingdom where people voted on the sexiest American voice, and you came out top. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Okay, next clip.
I voted for you, Morgan. I voted only for you. That's the facts of our play.
That's the truth.
Wow. It feels good.
Okay, before I tell you what he says about his vocal power, do you notice here he gets a compliment and he's playful, again, twice. He actually engages in physical touch, so he scoots a little closer to Zooey Deschanel, he gives James Corden a hug. This is beautiful because he gets a compliment, but he makes it about them, right? He gets compliment, he makes it about other people. He initiates in touch, which is incredibly likable. He's playful, which we already learned is incredibly likable. So before he even gives us his tip, we're able to see that playfulness as well as making it about other people. And that's an incredibly important part about likability as well. Okay, now his vocal power tip.
How do I make my voice sexier? What do I have to do? How do I Freemanize
Are
it?
you joking or you really
I
want to know?
genuinely want to know.
Yawn a lot.
Really?
Really.
That's so. Oh.
Yeah. All right. That relaxes the larynx, the whole area of the throat and the jaw, because one of the things that make the voice high is tension in the throat.
That's right.
Yep. See? Already.
Yeah, it's already coming out. Look at that.
Yeah. Imagine how you would sound in a week.
Mate.
I don't know about you. I'm turning my cell phone. Sound.
Okay, so I love this tip. I actually spend 2 whole chapters in my book, Cues, talking about vocal likability and vocal power. And this builds on exactly what Morgan Freeman said, which is that the more tension we have in our body, our vocal cords, and our mouth, the worse we sound, the less likable we are. We don't like hearing people who are tense because, again, we could catch that tension. So I love this tip, and let's try it together. So give me a little yawn. And now, imagine if I were to talk like this. Now, this is a little bit much in my vocal relaxation, but it's relaxing. I could maybe even be doing an ASMR video right now. So I love this tip because anytime you hear yourself going a little higher in your range where you're tight and you're up here, I want you to give yourself a little yawn, take in deep breath, and speak with more relaxation in your neck and throat. So I'm going to actually talk to you now with just more relaxation in my neck and throat. I feel calmer. I think I might sound a little bit calmer. And this also makes me feel like I'm more relaxed as I speak to you. So I love this little tip on how to get a little bit of Morgan Freeman's vocal power. If only I could bottle that and sell it. Oh, that would be incredible. But for now, we'll have to settle with those yawns. So nice, relaxed vocal cords. Man, I liked filming this video, and I like you. I hope that you'll give this video a like. Also remember, I loved this topic so much that I made an entire 60-minute training on the verbal likability that I didn't even get to fit in this video, so be sure to sign up for it at scienceofpeople.com/like. I share my 5 most likable phrases, or the 5 phrases that I use all the time that increase my likability. This is especially important if you do a lot of emailing, a lot of texting, or a lot of phone calls, if you're not always in person with someone. Morgan Freeman, thanks for being so likable. I really appreciated analyzing all your likable cues, and I like you a lot too. Be sure to leave your likable tips below the video, and I'll see you in our next one. Hey, I want to tell you one more thing. You are amazing. The question is, do you know how to share it? I'd love to help. I save my very best tips for my insider subscribers. Subscribe for free at scienceofpeople.com. I know your inbox is sacred, so I promise to send you only emails you will love.